Hey guys, and welcome to the Igloo. Today we're going to be showing a little bit of like the new Halloween stuff. So let's just get right into it. So one of the big things that I've been seeing for the Halloween content is that it looks overall gorgeous, and it's probably one of the best kind of designs, especially with their new graphics designer that they have. It's actually looking pretty fucking stellar. But with that comes the caveat. On day one of it, they had some coding issues when it came to the door. So apparently T2 doors were invisible and you can just walk right through. As well as, like, they were dropping in their dataset pools for their... It was just so weird having dragon powder and star metal picks coming from the meteors themselves, because it was a literal copy and paste from that with some pretty cool effects as well, because again, this effects designer did some marvelous things with this Halloween event, and I'm definitely going to give him praise because he worked his butt off for this shit. So the other thing that I want to say is that after this hotfix, they got rid of having dragon powder, skeleton keys, and also star metal picks, which for good reason, because it's pretty OP to have like that kind of level of material. I mean, I can see hardened picks. I can see like just having different types of stuff. I mean, honestly, that's what I would think. But then it gets right on into it for the rest of it, which is like on how they implement it. They change like some of the effect sounds and like the door. I honestly like it. I honestly like this new Halloween thing, but I don't like on what they did with some things. And I can definitely see for people getting annoyed for it, especially when you go over, you get this whole scene, but if you're on a server itself, whether you're on official or not, because they still have the same properties as a star metal ore that doesn't have a shell on it, they do despawn fairly quickly. And I mean, honestly, that's one of the things what happens when you copy and paste something. And that's definitely on the coders' fault for their whole kind of aspect for it, because we had a problem with star metal ore falling a couple patches ago, and it just would despawn all the time, so we would have no star metal. So I mean, with this event, I mean, that's exactly what happened. So we have no cool resources, except for if you're on single player, which I mean, it works pretty well. So what you have to do in single player is that you actually have to teleport with using a map room or using admin tools or the Midnight Grove potion, and then you teleport out of it, and you see just everything fall around you in single player. So they were suspecting that this could be an issue because of relaying it to Steam. When I was talking to one of their lead programmers, Scooper, about this kind of situation, and it was completely fine to be out there in the wild because they're trying to get it to work properly with the new kind of holiday material. Now, I'm giving them praise when it comes to the design. I'm not giving them praise when it comes to like all the errors when it comes to this, because they should honestly like do their checks when it comes to like releasing cool new stuff that we would like to see, because honestly this was a cool idea, but they failed to execute the design, and that's where it comes down to, is execution overall anyway, because it might look cool, but I mean, if it's not gonna work, I mean, it's just it's really cool scene and really good effects, and then like just you get nothing really in return because you can't get the star metal itself to spawn. Again, that's why I say, like, this graphics designer did a baller job, and I honestly think that this was a really good move on them when it comes to the graphics designer, because, again, if you guys don't know, they hired a new graphics designer, and the next thing that's in the pool is magic, and they've said it a few different times on stream that we might be getting magic, so hopefully that this guy pulls out some gnarly stuff when it comes to the graphics designing parts of like Conan Exiles and how everything is being implemented. But I want to touch a different subject. I had a different recording that I had today, and it sounded like I was bashing more of it. But I mean, I did talk to the Pippi I talked to a Pippi person today that was part of the Pippi mod team, and he brought some interesting ideas, which I honestly thought that couldn't really be done with Conan Exiles, but they have been in hard talks with it, and I'm more profoundly affected with this because, I mean, Conan Exiles and modding, I mean, the modding community is fairly niche when it comes to Conan Exiles, and honestly, for what I heard from what they were doing, I don't want to discuss their plans at all, because if they don't do it, then they don't do it at all. But if they do this, and for what they've done, it would mean the world to Conan Exiles, and it could change the game forever if they were able to get this done. Honestly, the other thing that it's really tied hand to hand for is automods. So during one of their last live streams, I put up a footnote for like Conan Exiles, and I asked a question about automods. So they said that they are still working on it, and they needed to get the process going. Still, honestly, that should be the highest priority, because having some of these auto mods that are enabled, especially some admin tools from the Pippi mod, so that everybody can just point, click, you're downloading, you're on the server, everything's good to go. You already got your whole packet configuration, and I know you need a external extension to get all this done because Steam doesn't do it directly. But honestly, that's one thing that can honestly, like, really do a profound effect for Conan Exiles is mods. And I will stress this, even though, like, predominantly most of my content was finding for exploits, building exploits, different ways of buildings and design, and that top 5 base locations for Conan Exiles, I grew over the time and years, and for a while I did get frustrated for it, but I mean, I was frustrated at the devs for Funcom themselves because of their lack of progress and their lack of everything. But then, like, I always seem to always not think and talk about the mod side, because the mods are directly correlated to that auto mod function. So most of the mods that are on Conan Exiles right now don't mean anything to a good majority of the people, especially on the private side, until that auto mod function happens to work for all the users. So let's say, for example, you want to have Pippi mod, you want to have the magic mod that's on Conan Exiles. Yes, there's 2 different magic mods on Conan Exiles. One is more predominant than the other one, and it actually looks pretty good. But honestly, like, if you're wanting to implement these features, or even as simple as just adding external admin tools from JSON, and you want to see this kind of stuff, like, so that you can actually admin properly instead of dealing, like, with Conan Exiles kind of shitty tools for admin stuff. But even though they do offer a lot of things that can change within the game or within INI, as in the admin tools, they haven't been really updated, especially the view player tool, because sometimes it views the player, sometimes it views a completely different player, sometimes it even views itself. So I'm not really happy for Conan Exiles as in the admin tools, but there are mods out there. Again, the Pippi mod. I don't really have much to say, because I mean they have a great mod that has a lot of extensions and tools, and it can, like, identify things that most other, like, kind of mods don't even come close to the amount of operations and extensions that they do, because they were like that. And the reason why I'm talking like this is because, again, I talked to one of them today, and we had a very long conversation, and we really jived pretty well. But I'm not going to reveal any of their plans for what they have, especially for the admin team for that, and for what they're trying to do, because, I mean, it's not set in stone at all, but these people do it for free, and they do it for funsies, and they have it for just like any kind of admin. You do it for fun. You don't get paid for it. I mean, some people might donate to your server so that it can actually work properly, but with what they're doing, I mean, it would be pretty profound if they were actually going to do what they're going to do. And if they actually get it, I mean, I'm only going to support them 150%, because I mean, for everything that he told me, I mean, some of it was under NDA, so that's why I'm saying in this kind of tonality. But, like, it's very profound, and it could change Conan, and it could probably become popular again. Like, not just having, like, anywhere from a fluctuation of 5 to 10,000 people. I'm talking to, like, actual numbers to what they have, because if they're able to do it, I mean, kudos to them, and I would 150% support them. If you guys like this kind of content and news when it comes to news and updates, especially for mods, like, I'm not really one to do that often, so, I mean, definitely put a comment down below when it comes to this stuff, but normally I'm going to be giving you guys updates, and especially for broken things. And also, the other thing that's broken before I finish it off, I'm sorry, I'm kind of, you know, rant. As a PS reminder, the Lost Souls elixir gives you something called, like, virtue or brutality, or I forget what it is, but it gives you another 100 HP on top of all the other elixir perks on top of it. So if you're farming on a server and you happen to get like a stack or two of nodes and you're dealing with this virtue kind of stuff, it gives you 100 more HP. So I mean, you might want to take it. All right, so have a good one, guys.